Friends, subscribe to my channel and like it is not difficult for you, but it is pleasant for me. Thank you very much, friends. The Biden organization forced a pile of new endorses against Moscow on Thursday over supposed obstruction in the 2020 political race, a monster cyberattack against U.S. government and corporate organizations, unlawful addition and control of Crimea, and denials of basic freedoms. Today, the U.S. branch of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, made a general move against 16 elements and 16 people who endeavored to impact the 2020 U.S. official political race at the heading of the authority of the Russian government, the Treasury said in a proclamation. It additionally declared authorizations on 5 people and 3 elements connected to Russia's extension of Ukraine's Crimea promontory and denials of basic freedoms. Notwithstanding the expensive authorizations gave by the Treasury, the State Department declared it will oust 10 authorities from Russia's conciliatory mission in the United States. The authorizations come following President Joe Biden's call this week with Russian pioneer Vladimir Putin and as Russian power accumulate close to the Ukraine line. Washington officially denounced Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, or SVR, its top government operative organization, of being behind a cyberattack exposed before the end of last year, portrayed by Microsoft President Brad Smith as the biggest and most modern assault the world has at any point seen. The U.S. insight community has high trust in its evaluation of attribution, the Treasury discharge said. The assault saw programmers access the product utilized by a great many government departments and organizations. The punishments are additionally in light of a March report by the U.S. head of public knowledge that finished up Putin-approved endeavors to meddle in the 2020 political decision and previous President Donald Trump's courtesy. The Russian government prevents all from getting the claims. Biden likewise marked a chief request Thursday that permits Washington to endorse any area of Moscow's economy, essentially widening the extent of approval's authority. Under this new approval, U.S. monetary foundations are precluded from managing exchanges in the essential market for new ruble or non-ruble designated securities gave after June 14. At the point when you eliminate U.S. financial backers from the essential market, it causes a more extensive chilling impact, said a senior organization official who talked on the state of secrecy. What you see is that Russia's getting costs rise, you see that there's capital flight, and you see the cash debilitates pair. Furthermore, you know that affects Russia's development rate and it affects Russia's expansion rate, the authority added. The president marked this general new power to face Russia's preceded in developing censure conduct, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said in an explanation extolling the action. Depository is utilizing this new position to force costs on the Russian government for its unsatisfactory lead, including by restricting Russia's capacity to fund its exercises and by focusing on Russia's malevolent and problematic digital abilities, she added. One of those named in the new activities is Konstantin Kilimnik, a Russian specialist with binds to previous Trump crusade manager Paul Manafort, who was indicted in extraordinary guidance Robert Mueller's examination of Russian interfering in the 2016 political race. The FBI is offering $250,000 for data prompting Kilimnik's capture, who is accepted to be in Russia. Moscow restricts the removal of a Russian public to any country. Another senior organization official, who declined to be named, said that the White House was as yet cheerful for a steady and unsurprising relationship with Russia. We additionally need to be certain that we want to be in an escalatory cycle with Russia. We mean these reactions to be proportionate and custom-fitted to the particular past exercises, ways, moves that Russia has made, the authority said. The organization authorities declined to guess on conceivable retaliatory moves Moscow would make closely following the broad approvals. Demolishing U.S.-Russia relations. Taking a harder position on Russia was one of Biden's international strategy crusade vows. The actions declared Thursday join a progression of past moves, the Obama organization's obligation financing limitations for significant Russian organizations like Rosneft, and the Trump organization's prohibition on U.S. substances purchasing Russia's unfamiliar money government credits. The present U.S. sanctions proceed with the overall pattern of demolishing relations saw since the time the addition of Crimea, Maximilian Hess, head of political danger at London based law office Hawthorne Advisors, told CNBC. The key segment of these approvals, he said, is the accepting of U.S. elements from the essential market for ruble designated obligations by the Russian government. Nonetheless, Hess noticed, this won't have a significant effect, especially given Russia's sensible obligation load. For Timothy Ashe, Senior Developing Business Sectors Planner at Blue Bay Asset Management, the actions are a long way from brutal. It resembles folks please, you need to show improvement over this, Ashe wrote in a note following the declaration. Sovereign Essential actually permits U.S. substances to hold this obligation. So U.S. establishments can't accepting Russian sovereign obligation in essential issuance, yet can get their Russian bank companions to get it for them in essential, give them an expense, and afterward get it in the auxiliary. The ruble pared a portion of its misfortunes Thursday against the greenback soon after the authorization's news, exchanging at 76.3025 to the dollar at 4 p.m. nearby time contrasted, and 77.0718 not long before the subtleties of the approvals were reported. Russian troop development on Ukraine line. The Biden-Putin call Tuesday, in any event a second between the two men since Biden got down to business in January, comes as the United States and other Western nations become tired of Russia's developing military development along its line with Ukraine, where it has amassed a huge number of troops and tanks. We're presently seeing the biggest centralization of Russian powers on Ukraine's boundaries since 2014, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Tuesday subsequent to visiting NATO's base camp in Brussels. That is a profound concern not exclusively to Ukraine, yet to the United States. Provincial specialists say this move could be an endeavor to test Biden's strength and threaten Ukraine. The more cynical viewpoint proposes its point is to prod Ukraine into recharged struggle. Biden in the call with Putin underscored the United States' immovable obligation to Ukraine's sway and regional uprightness, as indicated by a White House readout. Biden proposed holding a highest point someplace outside the U.S. also, Russia to examine the full scope of issues confronting the nations. The Kremlin later on Tuesday said in a proclamation that Biden had proposed thinking about holding an individual highest point meeting within a reasonable time frame. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to K0 now and like.